big word in there, pursuance. What's pursuance? It's a root word. The root word of it is pursue. What's it mean to pursue? What's that mean? If you're pursuing someone, what are you doing? Aren't you following after them? You're following them, aren't you? Good. Okay, so the definition of pursue is to follow. So let's do what we did before. Let's take the words here, and let's throw in the word pursuance. Let's throw in its definition. So this Constitution and the laws of the United States that shall be made to follow thereof shall be the supreme law of the land. To follow thereof. What in the world does to follow thereof mean? I would replace the word thereof with it. And let's read it again. The Constitution, this Constitution, and the laws of the United States that shall be made to follow it. To follow it. What's it? Obviously, it's referring to the Constitution, right? So let's put that in there. This Constitution and the laws of the United States that shall be made to follow the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land. So clearly, the laws of the United States, the federal laws, in order to become the supreme law of the land, what do they have to do? They have to follow the Constitution. That's the condition that's made in order for them to become the supreme law of the land. That's a vitally important truth, okay? Now, what if the federal laws say, I don't want to follow the Constitution. I want to go around the Constitution, but I still want to become the supreme law of the land. Can they do that? No, not any more than a skinny boy can become a buff bodybuilder if he doesn't lift weights. They have to be made. The condition they have to comply with is they have to be made in pursuance of the Constitution, to follow the Constitution. Okay, that makes sense? Hopefully that helps you understand that. Okay, so let's pursue that idea of pursue, okay? Let's look at what it means to follow the Constitution. What does that really mean? What it really means is you can find a part in the Constitution, you can put your finger on it. You can say, this is where the Constitution says I can do that. Okay, that's the only way a federal law is supreme, is if it complies with it. You can say, look, here in the Constitution it says this, therefore the federal law complies with it. Okay? So let's give you some examples, some theoretical examples of federal laws and see if they're supreme law of the land. Okay? First one is theoretical federal law 1-3-892. All people living in the United States of America shall live in red houses. Now, does this law follow the Constitution? No, not unless you can show me somewhere in there that says that the federal government gets to tell us what color of houses we live in, right? It doesn't follow the Constitution because there's nowhere in the Constitution that says and gives Congress that power. Now, who has the power to decide what color of house they live in? The people, right? It's reserved to the people. Okay? Make sense? Let's look at another one. Federal law, this is a hypothetical. Federal law 7-9-086. All state highway patrolmen in any state in the United States of America shall only be allowed to ride motorcycles. Does that pursue? Does that follow the Constitution? Can you point to a place in the Constitution that says that the federal government can decide what type of vehicles that state patrolmen drive? No. Okay. Who has that power? Who is that reserved to? The states. They get to decide in their highway patrol what they drive. All right. Hypothetical number 3. Federal law 1-2-345. The United States hereby forms a navy for the defense of our nation. Is that a law that complies with the Constitution, therefore is the supreme law of the land? Well, it happens to be, because you can point to a place in the Constitution where it says they can form a navy. And that place is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 13. Okay? You can turn to it if you want to. It's on page 6, right? Or on page 7 of the Constitution we looked at. Okay? So if there's a law that says the federal government's going to form a navy, they can, because you can point to that spot in the Constitution. All right? Make sense? Good. Now let me make sure this point is crystal clear. The supremacy clause, too often people say supremacy means the federal law is supreme over the states or supreme over the people. That's not what the supremacy clause says. What the supremacy clause says is that the Constitution is supreme. Okay? And the Constitution decides if the federal is in charge or if the states or the people are in charge. That's depending on the contract that they wrote together, that they decided on. Okay? Supremacy, way too many times. Oh, supreme law of the land, that means federal law is supreme law of the land. No, that they have to comply with the condition.